Hello everyone, my name is BattleTruck and welcome to my series Booting Up. Today's episode is going to be over a game that's quite fascinating to talk about. This is GTA 5, a game that seems like it's forever put into gaming culture as an icon that will never be forgotten, but yet at the same time is still relevant even to today. Before we get into the story mode, where I'm just going to casually talk about how I feel about the game, how I feel about the online, and just overall the dynamic and the culture around it, I'll take a look at the quick options. This is a AAA game. You can play it just about any way. You could probably play this on a toaster when it comes to being able to have key bindings work. Audio-wise, of course, I will be using the non-licensed music as much as possible. I will change it in the post. With that being said, camera, graphics, this game shows its age at this point. You can pretty much convert it to whatever it wants to be. Personally, I try to keep relatively high FPS on it, but it's still a nice looking game, even for the fact that it's nearly 10 years old. And that's kind of where I want to talk about this. GTA 5, developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games, became a cultural icon throughout the several in the franchise before it, whether it be San Andreas to coming further along into more modern times into 3, and then GTA 4 as being the most recent one. GTA 5 was built on the backs of what the franchise already was, what it already could be, but it didn't feel like it could not continue to grow. But the ability for GTA 5 to revolutionize the modern open world game and then have several rebirths as a game make it a truly fascinating thing. So let's start from the beginning. So GTA is a well-known open world crime game where in this case it was the first one in the franchise to have 3 main protagonists, 3 male protagonists, all interlocked into a story, as well as this is where, there we go, as well as having its standard driving mechanics, having heists, being able to have a very gripping and endearing story, and for the time, it was also a very, God, I'm terrible at it today, a very fascinating online scene that was just starting to blossom, allowing you to create your own character and live your own story in Los Santos more so than any other game before it. You could become your own crime lord, do heists, go out with your friends, do all these crazy shenanigans, whereas before in something like GTA 4, you could just do team deathmatch or races or a very bleak and anemic style of online cooperation. Whereas here, it became a second game. You would get through the 40 to 60 hour campaign, which I enjoyed. I thought it was quite good. And then from there, you would get done with it, and you could go online and you could spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Now, personally, I probably, with the Xbox 360 and the PC versions, probably clocked in somewhere around 1,500 hours into this game. And most of that is the online function. Why? Because you could just keep getting on and doing crazy, wacky stuff with your friends, with them releasing content. Which I will say, while yes, I don't appreciate the idea of shark cards, I understand why they're there. I enjoyed the fact that all the content was free after I paid that first $60 to get the game. Like everything since then has been there. Now, I do believe that over time it should have had more sales than what it did, but that's to say that's another story. That's a whole nother argument that you can't complain about. But GTA 5 is a fascinating game to me while I'm obviously just driving around talking about it because of the simple idea of what does it mean to have a game die out and be reborn? I think GTA 5 has had several life cycles. The initial release. It was the first video game to ever crack $1 billion in sales. And at the time, back in 2013, that was incredible. Also, I have stuck my car right there. To have $1 billion in sales, to basically be the game that everybody wanted, excuse me, to be this something bigger than anything had ever seen. Hollywood, it felt like anybody. It didn't matter. This was the premier media product. Movie, couldn't touch it. Whether it be video game, whether it be music, this was the thing everybody talked about when it first came out, and the sales proved it. Then the online community started to take hold, and you got a lot of clips. You got a lot of internet videos being created because of the online community about the wacky stuff, about the heist, about what you could do online, as well as, of course, your normal backlash to a franchise like this. But what was also equally fascinating is, excuse me one moment, is that this game, after a while, didn't necessarily die out, but it moved on like every other franchise. It progresses. I mean, its all-time peak here that I have on Steam charts clocks in, wow, don't read and drive, at 360,000 concurrent players. But if we pull back the curtain, we can see, yeah, at some points it would peak all the way back here in 2015 at almost 200,000, usually depending on what content got dropped, if anything new to come into the game. But roughly 50,000 people would be playing at a time. But the type of person playing the game changed. Yes, online has been plagued with hacking. It's just like any other online form. There's scripts, there's mods, there's quite a few things to it. But a new type of community came up with it. GTA 5, if I had to give an honest review, I think as a game total, packaging in the online with the story mode is probably an 8.5 out of 10. I think overall it's a very polished but somewhat dated game, but I could spend all day on the online portion of it because of the amount of customization, accessibility from the from being able to go out and just blow stuff up, to driving with your friends, with the car customization, the character customization, all of it. I could truly just go on and on and on. And that's where, as we drive around with Franklin here, and we just keep on rolling. That's what's fascinating, is that this was a really good game when it came out. Easily 10 out of 10s when it first started. Now, talking 10 years later, that's kind of why the rating has died. I've played so much of it that I only know as much as I do. And after 1,500 hours, I can definitely say I'm not picking it up every day like I used to. But I've definitely got my money's worth. Never spent any money on the shark card, though. However, what's more shocking is what community took over. And that was the RP community. GTA RP became a firestorm, it felt like, overnight, where people were modding servers in order to allow strangers to come in and roleplay in the world that Rockstar had already created since the original game. And what really makes it interesting is, going back to that whole reborn process and discussion, is that a game that was designed to immerse yourself into the world just did it again. It's just that now it's from a different perspective. Instead of you feeling like you're trying to be a character in a game and trying to get cool stuff and feeling like you want to be who you want to, instead, you are that person. You get to be that person. You get to have voice chat. You get to do unique things. You get to be unique things. When you're talking to people whenever they're role playing, you're enjoying it and appreciating it for what it is. And now you have to ask yourself, how many lives can a game go through and still be of essence of it? Perfect example in my mind would be something like Minecraft. I think Minecraft has gone through several iterations from the original alpha all the way now to the most present times, where it's still just as popular. There's things that have changed, and heck, every time that I open up, every couple of months, there always feels like something new. But once again, it makes it just as fascinating. GTA 5 is more of an enigma of the gaming culture than it is just anything that you can just pick up and play. You could play the story and not do anything online and still enjoy it. But for my money, to truly talk about GTA 5, it's not about what the base game is anymore, it's about what it's become. I think it's a fascinating open world game. I think it's a lesson shown that even though that it's 10 years old, it can be still just as relevant and popular, just in a different format. And now with the leaked trailer of GTA 6, the possibilities are endless moving forward. But the question will remain, does the franchise get that level of lasting use out of it? Or will something else take over the genre that it's holding? For instance, RDR2, Red Dead Redemption 2, with its online, has become its new section. Doesn't mean that there isn't online roleplay here, but it's the new thing. So it'll be fascinating to watch. Good job, Franklin. But to wrap up this very much more of a video essay of a booting up, I have to say it like this. GTA 5, oh, what a beauty. GTA 5 is a franchise just cornerstone of a video game. I don't know if there's going to be another GTA 5 for Rockstar. I don't know whether the AAA industry is going to be able to have that culmination of media attention, record-breaking sales, and the ability to create something that lasts for years on. I don't know if there will be the ability to have a game keep going and growing more and more and more to the point where that nearly 10 years later, it's still relevant in media, in pop culture, and in video game culture. But I do know this. After playing 1,500 hours, I only have to say one thing. It's one hell of a good game. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my video essay here on booting up. And until next time, have a good one.